Good morning. Welcome to My Left Ear. It's May 25th, Tuesday. And this show today is called Legislate Mail Bits. And I will explain that. This is political and psychic commentary. So I am Carrie Freeman. And this is called My Left Ear because I literally get information and messages from my left ear. And I also do runes to follow up and second, just do the follow-up stuff. And what do? I'm what I call a change agent. I help people change. I've been doing therapeutic hypnosis for 20 years. And I also do psychic coaching. And there is a video on my psychic coaching that I'd love for you to check out because it really explains it. And I also have a one sheet that I can email people. So my email is below and you can ask me for that. I also coach people with writing and performance because I have a background in the arts, in writing, in performance. So enough about me. And any subscriptions are welcome. We're building this path here. All right, always like to start with a deep breath. The sun's out where I'm at. So I'm starting this a little differently today because I'm very worked up about the threat to Roe versus Wade and pro-choice. So I want to explain something. I was brought up in this strange household where my parents were really intelligent and they read a lot and they were into politics, but for whatever reason, they just didn't promote it to my brother and I. So I never felt that I was very important, that my vote really didn't matter. Why bother? Except when I became older, like, 18 years old, and abortion wasn't legal. And I did help a friend get a back alley abortion. I raised money. It was very ugly. What I want to say about pro-choice, and I want you to hear this loud and clear, I don't like abortion. I never wanted to have an abortion, and I never did because I took giant precautions. I think the choice is awful. But I think the choice is mine. And I do not want government to have access over my organs. Think about it. So now we come into the title of this video about legislating mail bits. In England, and I learned this by watching Dancing with the Stars, there was this beautiful contestant from England. And she said something like, oh, when the skirt went up, I thought my lady bits showed. And I thought, well, how cute is that? So I just kind of decided to adopt that because it's sort of so polite and call them male bits. But what I really want to say, and which is, fairly controversial, is if we're going to legislate uteruses, then we need to legislate sperm, testicles, and bring men into a part of it, where they pay money. They pay money for all these unborn babies. Last week, someone put on Twitter a complaint by a male MAGA, and he said something like, making me wear a mask, they are having control over my body. And you have to laugh, right? Because he wants control over my reproductive system. He doesn't like wearing a mask. He thinks we're exhibiting control over his body. It just takes off a mask, right? So what we have here, and the whole show isn't going to be about Roe versus Wade, but I'm starting it with this, that we're revisiting Roe versus Wade now. And Mississippi, the lower courts rejected a Mississippi proposal for an abortion limit at 15 weeks. Okay? 23 to 24 weeks is the normal. Many women don't even know they're pregnant at 15 weeks. So between a rock and a hard place? I think so. So SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, can deny all legal hearings. They don't have to take anything. They decide, but they immediately wanted to weigh in on this Mississippi situation. But we won't get a ruling from them on Mississippi till next year. They should deny the 15 weeks, but we have 3 extremely conservative justices, so we will see. Now the states can regulate, but they can't ban. They can't ban. They can regulate. So that's what they're trying to do. And Mississippi is one of the several Republican-led states that have passed more aggressive restrictions on abortion in recent years. Now let's move on to Texas. Texas has approved, this is even worse in a way, Texas has approved a so-called heartbeat bill, which bans abortions after roughly 6 weeks of pregnancy, before the pregnancy is confirmed. Texas women who can't afford to travel to a Democratic-led state to terminate an unwanted or dangerous pregnancy or pregnancy via rape will be required to seek abortions before they even know they're pregnant. It's crazy, right? It's really crazy. So here's what makes this new bill horrible. In Texas, it turns the reins over to private citizens who are now empowered to sue abortion providers or anyone who helped someone get an abortion after a fetal heartbeat has been detected. So let's just go out there and be outrageous for a minute. If Ted Cruz's wife finds out that her neighbor is getting an abortion, she can go right there and report her neighbor. And that neighbor, and Ted Cruz's wife, this is just hypothetical, could file a suit against the physician who performs the procedure, and the nurse who was in the room, and the friend who drove her neighbor to get to the health clinic. Seriously. So this would allow abortion opponents to flood the courts with lawsuits to harass doctors, patients, nurses, domestic violence counselors, a friend who drove. So my next suggestion is we need to talk about adding seats to the Supreme Court. Now, I don't know if the president has plans to do it. I know he's investigating it. And what I found out, because I did a little research, is that the number of justices on the Supreme Court is determined by Congress, not by the president. So when one party controls the presidency and the Congress, the chances for altering the number of justices, which would be a few more, another liberal or 2, increases. It's very dire. It's very dire. Now there is a Stephen Gerald Breyer. He's an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States since 1994. He was nominated by Bill Clinton. It's very strange because he leans towards liberal, but the Dems want him to retire, and I don't understand why. So I'm just putting it out there. He stacks up as a guy who would defend pro-choice and a lot of the policies that the Democrats like and want, but the Dems want him to retire. So if anybody knows why, I don't really understand it. So I'm just putting it out there. I've read a lot of stuff, but I can't quite get it. My left ear feels like the time is now, capital now, to push through all of it in any way possible. Now, a friend of mine yesterday at brunch said, but what if we get rid of the filibuster, and then the Republicans take over? And then I said, you know what? We can't make our decisions on fear. And that would be true in life. That would be advice I would give my clients. We can't make our decisions on fear. It's a bad way to make decisions. The time is now. So what I think, what my left ear really is advising is that get rid of this filibuster now. We've got to push through infrastructure. We've got to push through voting rights. These are crucial. It's not the time to base decisions on what will the pubs do in 2022. We don't even know what the pubs will do tomorrow, right? My left ear thinks Biden needs to act now, needs to be aggressive. You know, this infrastructure, and by the way, I'm just going to skip down. There is a quote by the Palmer Report, who does lots of posts on Twitter, legal stuff. He wrote this morning, Bill Palmer, "This kind of thing was never going to play out as quickly as observers would like, or as quickly as justice would seemingly demand. But it keeps becoming more clear that Trump and many of his people are going down in the end." But I did have a quote by Bill, and that wasn't it, and I can't find it right now. But he did say this morning that they're going to push through infrastructure through reconciliation. He's sure of it, and I believe that's going to happen too. And I think Joe Biden is playing the long game, and he's looking very conciliatory and wanting to meet and have talks. But this is what my left ear thinks. And there will be such a boon in America when this infrastructure is approved. Jobs, money, Wall Street. And of course, it makes the chances of Joe Biden winning the next election much higher, because so many people vote on the economy if they're doing well. Pray. My left ear told me the other day, this is where it's shifting now, to Ivanka, who I have nicknamed a long time ago, Evapid, because I find her vapid, and I have never heard her say anything that's remarkable or insightful or intelligent. She is her father, with long blonde hair and a slightly softer voice, but she really operates like her father. She's Cruella de Vil quietly. So, just as an example, in a previous deposition that I think was about the inaugural funds that are really, they're going to get into it. People are going to get into trouble. Funds disappeared. Millions disappeared from the inaugural coffer, for lack of a better word. So she goes to get deposed, and they ask her, who is Alan Weisselberg in the Trump organization? And she doesn't know his title. Now, he was working there when she was born. She's basically grown up with Alan Weisselberg, who worked for the Fred Trump. And now she's evidently one of the heads of Trump Org, which reminds me of Sea Org in Scientology. Isn't that interesting? And she said, I'm not sure what his title is. Is that amazing? She's not sure what Alan Weisselberg's. So as these people are deposed, they're going to say these really vague, vapid things. Alan Weisselberg will, the New York Attorney General's office and the Manhattan District Attorney's office both have cases against Trump Org and Alan Weisselberg. Alan Weisselberg is not sharing or flipping, as they say, yet. My left ear tells me he will. He's got much to protect with family, and he knows everything. He knows everything about Trump Org / Sea Org. Now, regarding the ceasefire, Israel-Palestine, and I said I'm not going to talk a lot about this because I don't feel clearly qualified. As one of my subscribers wrote, this has a huge history. And I kind of know my limits, so I'd rather not sound stupid. But I do want to say this ceasefire comes because of Joe Biden's years and years and years of experience and building relationships. And he's had a relationship with Bibi for many, many years. So he was able to call on that relationship. My left ear does not feel that this ceasefire will maintain. I feel like it's temporary. So it's tragic. I just feel bad for everybody. I feel bad for children that have died, people that have their homes have been demolished. And please don't come at me. It's just a human tragedy and crises. But the ceasefire won't last. Sorry about that, guys. All right, I'm going to bring her up. That I call her Cray Cray Bully in a Dress. It almost sounds like a song, doesn't it? Cray Cray Bully in a Dress. Do you want to guess who that is? Marjorie Trader Green. I like that. Marjorie Trader Green. Let me tell you, my left ear says something bad's going to happen to her personally. Something bad's going to happen to her personally. Someone, she's going to get in trouble, or she's going to get hurt physically, or she's going to be the direct inciter of violence and tragedy. It's building. She's empowered every day that she's not expelled or censured. It's remarkable. She's also very similar to Donald Trump. So there's women now that are replicating this bully, this ugly, nasty bully. I need to leave you with something positive. I do. Because, listen, like I say, I'm worried. Of course I'm worried. But it's not my job to come and worry in front of you. It's my job to share, hopefully bring you a little hope, a little light. My left ear told me the Dems are going to win in 2022. Seriously. Biden is playing this long game. Like I said before, in his own way, in his lovely, gentle way, he's setting up the Republicans. And the White House has more power than they are showing. There's that old song by Kenny, Know When to Hold 'Em? Why am I not thinking of Kenny? So famous and he passed. Country Western Kenny Rogers, thank you. Know when to hold 'em, know when to show 'em. Joe Biden knows when to hold 'em. Here's time for the quotes. This is a long one, but boy, I think it's appropriate. I've got two quotes by Winston Churchill today because we are in such a fight. This is what he said. This is the lesson. Never give in, never give in, never, 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 never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelmingly might of the enemy. I think I'm going to repeat that one. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy. And then here's the last one for Winston Churchill today. If you have an important point to make, don't try to be subtle or clever. Use a pile driver. Hit the point once. Then come back and hit it again. Then hit it a third time. A tremendous whack. So there you go. All right, let me just say something a little bit amusing. At least it amused me. You know, I love the movie The Help. I own it. It makes me cry. I just think it's a beautiful movie. And the woman who wrote it, by the way, she couldn't get anybody interested in it for years and years and years. And we often see good books and movies like that. Nobody's interested until somebody's interested. But if you saw the movie, which I highly recommend, there is a character, Minnie, and Minnie makes a famous chocolate pie in the movie. It's a dark pie. Let me put it that way. Minnie's famous pie. But since it's a period piece, and the women who played the help, the black help, were not allowed to use restrooms inside the homes of the white people that employed them. It was a big deal. They put out outhouses for them. So Minnie's pie contains what you think it contains, okay? And she serves it to somebody in the movie, and it's a great moment. And she serves it to a character who's just evil. So it's a very funny moment, and you go, oh my God. Well, I have a fantasy, and this is about as violent as I get. When Marjorie Taylor Greene is up there running that stupid, ignorant mouth of hers where she knows nothing. She knows nothing about history. She knows nothing about the Holocaust. She knows nothing. She's just cray. I would love to see her get a Minnie's pie in the face. That's all. I'm going to say it once, and I'm not going to say it again, and I hope maybe you laugh. It's a shit pie, okay? Minnie's pie is that. All right, I'm not going to say anymore. So that's it for today. I'm going to start another YouTube channel, totally different, but I'm not going to tell you what it is yet because I got to get together with someone who helps me with these things. I'm pretty excited about it. I want you guys to hold the good thoughts. Keep up with wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? And look for the good evidence. And think about Winston Churchill. Gave us a little energy for today. So my friends, make peace, make memories. Good to see you today before Memorial Day weekend. So be safe. Take care. Good to see ya.